What's good, y'all? It's your boy Goodman, and I'm back. They're like, oh, this nigga's always back. He's always back, ain't he? Well, I'm here. I decided to start with a series. This series is called How to Heal and to Alchemize Your Life, Part 1. Some real value here, and this is literally what I do. So if I run away from this, I just fucking suck at the shit. But but we here. So y'all ready? Let's the games begin. So while you're here, we're going to go over the main keys, those main pain points of what isn't working in our lives. I know for a long time I didn't do none of the work of healing, and I was just projecting my own pain and suffrage onto others. And it was a constant thing. Like I didn't really take the time to see that I was just burying things with smoking or drinking or playing video games or busting them left and right. It was just all about me just living life and carrying that pain and not getting any results or any growth whatsoever. So now I can talk about these things because it's been 7 years of this journey. And I want to talk about the many stages of when you start to begin this journey, how difficult it gets, and how to not lose your fucking shit while everything is going wayward, left and right and up and down. It's all about how can you make more progression towards where you're looking to be, or at least I wish that someone was there to give me some tools when I was going through this. I just had to go through it by myself because there's a lot of people that in my circle who weren't doing this kind of work. So I'm here to be a big bro. You ready? First and foremost, the first stage is identifying that everything that you've been doing has not been working for you. I believe that's the hardest part, is to identify that you're not going to get anywhere with the story that you're telling yourself, the actions that you're constantly doing. Oh, you're constantly getting into trauma bonds or relationships, or you're you're going out with friends and getting drunk with people who will not help you to heal because they are living in their pain all the time. But, they're the homies, so you're hanging out with them. And then you got your inability to let go of things from your childhood because it feels like something is being ripped apart from you. You're like, no, that's my best friend. I don't ever want to let you go. Like I'm gonna hold on to this for dear life. So getting a hold of that grip on that's the hard part, is letting go of things that make you feel comfortable. So one of the first steps is, first and foremost, identify that you want to make a change. That's like the first step is, hey, I've been software updating in this pain for so long and I want to reprogram, but that's going to take thought to begin that process. So then it's going to take longer to reprogram myself and not just keep being who I was because it was easy, because it's what I am at this time, in this moment, in this place. That's a major key there. That's a major freaking key. And then on top of that, then the shift happens. And this is a hard thing. And even for men, I know the stereotype or the gimmick is that, only women struggle with accountability, but it's all of us, because carrying that weight of, oh my goodness, I am everything that I'm doing or everything that I'm a part of. The reason why it keeps going left is because of me. Like, like you gotta start there and really hone in the fact that everything that's happening in your life, those situationships, those times where you show up late all the time, no matter if it was traffic, no matter if it was this and that, or or those times that, you, I don't know, you were just in a situation where you were constantly hurting yourself because you weren't willing to do the work to hold yourself accountable for the things that can make it so your life becomes better or easier by doing the work, doing the extra work on top of the work that you need to show up for. And that's a major key in the beginning of healing and alchemizing. So from there, let's say you've gotten your time period to be like, you know what? I am the reason why I'm not where I want to be. I'm the reason why I don't have the extra amount of money in my pocket. I'm the reason why I'm not divinely connected to source and not truly stepping into what I'm meant to be on this planet. It's because I'm telling myself this story and I'm holding on to it for dear life because it feels so good to have my own truth be embodied, but not allow the facts of life to be able to hone who and what I am. So then I can start making those choices that give me the version of life that I want to live and not what everybody else is telling me. But if you keep holding on to those choices and those truths that you've created, that's protecting your heart or your ego, then you're not going to start the beginning of the healing process. You're just going to strengthen the things that are going wrong in your life, and you're setting yourself up for a heavy punch to the face when that life hits you with reality. A lot of us nowadays are just constantly in that cycle. But accountability is one of the hardest things in this life because it's the weight of every aspect of life that you put your energy into is holding it on to it for yourself and not allowing other people to take the blame for it. The hardest thing for me in my beginning was I had a buddy who was always telling me, hey, bro, how much longer are you going to blame your parents for not giving you the tools that you need to go get for yourself right now? How much longer are you going to keep telling yourself this story? And I hated him for it. You're like, fuck you, nigga. Blah, blah, blah. Like, I was mad as shit. But the most beautiful thing was I eventually said, man, he was really trying to put me on game. He was trying to help open me up to the fact of the matter is that I was not willing to cut off that lifeline of pain and to start to build a new foundation based around, okay, what can I control in this? What can I say? Okay, you know what? I'm not saying that it was for everyone. It's easy to forgive and forget for everyone. But for me, it was like, okay, the forgiving part took a while, but creating the platform was the beginning of everything for me. If I took this time to open up this platform of, and I mean this platform hypothetically speaking, almost like a something to stand on. If you're standing on old stories and things that you don't have control over, your life is going to be like this. But once you be like, you know what, cut those weak foundations off and have a platform to stand on, now you're covering those old tendrils. Yes, they still holding on until you're ready to do that work to sever those. But then now you can start building brick by brick by brick by brick by brick. Now you have more to start to leverage yourself in this. So this is the beginning of the transformation that's necessary for your life. It's not going to be easy to be like, well, my ex-girlfriend, she manipulated me and did all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. Or, oh my God, he did this and my uncle did this and he blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, yes, your pain is valid because it's yours. But the thing is, you keep incubating that pain and not turning it into creation. You're just going to be the byproduct of that pain. You're not going to get to the next step of your life. You're just going to plateau in where you're at You're just going to, keep spinning your wheels. And it doesn't do nothing for you or the future version of you, because guess what? You have a teammate of you of each day. And every time you keep holding on to that story of the day of the character you were yesterday, then the version of today has to carry on that burden because you're not doing the work. Take accountability for where you're at. And that gives you the leverage necessary to make the change. But if you are constantly in this cycle of not ready to be able to do that, it's just going to stay. It's not going to go anywhere. So my major keys that I have here for you, and especially since I'm getting ready for the next video to be able to do the next step, but in this, first and foremost, identifying the pain. Identifying that something needs to change. Because if you don't identify that there's a problem that needs to be solved, then you're going to keep living life not knowing that there's a problem to be solved. So you're just going to keep that level of, I'm just existing and this is my existence. And that's the scariest thing to get caught into. It's just, this is just life. But it doesn't have to be, because your mind and your controller is literally the reason why you are living the life that you're living. And the actions that's based around the thoughts that you're also allowing into your head. Secondly, once you figured out that, establishing accountability and having a platform for your mind to start having building blocks for your life. And then thirdly, which is the hardest thing of all in the beginning stages, is to forgive yourself for the actions and the self-sabotage and the things that you're doing to yourself based around the stories that you were in the past. You know, oh my God, I masturbated, but I was supposed to be on a streak and blah, blah, blah. You're supposed to be like, fuck, okay. It happened. I'm dropping tears. I'm crying because I'm like, oh man, I'll never get out of this. You have to slowly but surely take the time to allow yourself to fail. You have to fail forward. Allow yourself to eat that ice cream, even though you're on that diet. Do what you have to do in the midst of it, but give yourself slow amount of resistance. That resistance shows that you're trying to change your story. Until that is something that you are putting into practice, you are not going to get anywhere. You're not. That's the most difficult part about all of it, is your level of how you go from one pain point and one addiction that you may have or story that you keep telling yourself, and how you return back to it. And then thinking about, oh, I want to get out of this, but I keep doing this thing, and you're beating yourself up. That beating yourself up is also dangerous too. You have to learn to forgive yourself for doing what you do, because it takes a while to change your mainframe from one thing to the other. So you have to take the time to love yourself and be like, okay, yes, we did what we did. We did what we did. Oh, take a deep breath and just, how can you get back to action again? That's going to show your progress, because at first you're going to start off with, oh, dude, I messed up again. I messed up again. I messed up again. Okay. And then the second time, third time. And then when you're on number 15, you're like, okay, I messed up again. You drop the tears. And then all of a sudden you notice you get a little more pep in your step towards going back and getting to it. It's like, the addictions don't stop being strong, but you notice that the more that you keep showing up, the resilience gets stronger. And then that starts to overpower the old actions that you used to take. So if you're constantly in this realm of change, you're going to continuously keep showing up for yourself to a point where you're just gonna be like, wow, I can feel the change. And then also, if you have people in your life that are someone who can reflect the mirror back to you of what you've been doing or how you're trying to grow, it's even greater to hear that somebody's also like, wow, you're changing, you're getting better. That is the first stage, is to start the resistance, have your foundation, and then also start to begin the foundation to stand on for your new life, your new mind, and your new soul. And your future self will thank you. Like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy Goodman, and I got part 2 coming real soon. You dig? Okay. Talk to y'all later.